हेलो एवरीवन, वार्म वेलकम टू टेक्स्ट बुक सुपर कोचिंग रेगुलेटरी बॉडीज यूट्यूब चैनल। मेरा नाम है माधव अरोड़ा। आई वेलकम यू ऑल इन अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सेशन वेयर वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस द फॉरेन करेंसी एक्सचेंज रेट. I don't know how many of you are aware, but this is a really very important topic where we need to understand that how the currency exchange rate is decided. Now you must be wondering what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, we generally say that $1 is equals to 84 rupees. If you have gone through with today's newspaper, then you must have seen there was a news that India's rupee is all-time low and $1 is equals to more than 84 rupees. Now, my question is, one side we have a data that yes, Indian rupees is that means $1 is equals to 84 rupees. That is fine. But the question is how this exchange rate is decided. What are the methods which are basically used to decide this exchange rate? And along with that, we'll discuss what is the format or what is the method used in India. And even I'll discuss the entire evolution of this particular method, that is exchange rate method in India since independence. So let's get started without any further delay. But before we start the discussion, I would request everyone quickly copy the link of this session, share it with your friends so that more and more students, they can join us live. So I'm also doing the same. You along with me, take up your phone and copy the link of this session, share it with your friends so that more and more students, they can join us live. So I have given 10 seconds for this task. 10 seconds are in your hand as well. So quickly guys, I request you share the link with your friends, and once you have shared the link, just give me yes sir so that we can move ahead without any further delay. Done guys? Ready? Chalo, let's get started. So my first question, the first question from where I'm going to begin my discussion is, so the first question from where I'm going to begin my discussion is, that is what is exchange rate. कि सर पहले ये बता दो कि exchange rate का मतलब क्या होता है, फिर बता देना कि कैसे इसे डिसाइड किया जाता है. तो अगर मुझसे कोई पूछे कि exchange rate क्या है, तो मेरा आंसर क्या होगा. exchange rate का मतलब अगर आप सिंपल भाषा में समझें, $1 के बदले में आप कितने रुपीस खरीद सकते हैं, या फिर उल्टा कीजिए, $1 में आप कितने डॉलर खरीद सकते हैं. ये एक्सचेंज रेट सिर्फ रुपीस और डॉलर का नहीं है. इट्स बेसिकली करेंसी. इट इज बेसिकली करेंसी एक्सचेंज रेट, और करेंसी एक्सचेंज रेट कैन बी डिफाइंड एज in this form. This is very interesting. Please pay attention. Sir, exchange rate can be defined in this form. That is, per unit currency is expressed. So when you express per unit currency, that is basically termed as currency exchange rate. For example, if you are expressing $1 is equals to, let's say, 84 rupees, that basically means what? So that basically means that you are calculating that 1 unit of dollar can be purchased out of how many rupees, or 1 unit of rupee can be purchased out of how many dollars. That is a point. Now, the next point is, sir, why this exchange rate is important? Why we need to understand exchange rate, or what is its importance on the global economic level? See, we know this very well, that what is currency. I'm pretty sure that if you have attended my previous sessions, you know this very well, that what is currency? So currency is basically a fiat money. So what is a fiat money? Fiat money is basically a type of medium of exchange which is used to purchase goods and services, but its actual value is less than its face value. यानी कि 100 रुपए का नोट है, लेकिन 100 रुपए के नोट को प्रिंट करने में जो आपका खर्चा हुआ है, दैट इज जस्ट 2.36 रुपीज. तो उसमें जो एक्चुअल वैल्यू है ₹2.36 है, लेकिन जो फेस वैल्यू है वो कितनी है, दैट इज 100 रुपए. तो उसे हम क्या कहेंगे, वी विल कॉल इट एज फिएट मनी. अब फिएट मनी का एक टाइप है, दैट इज करेंसी. सो द टाइप ऑफ फिएट मनी इज करेंसी. और ये जो टाइप है फिएट मनी की है किस पे डिपेंड करती है? जनरली वी हैव अ रॉन्ग नोशन इन आवर माइंड दैट करेंसी इज बेसिकली लिंक्ड टू अ नेशन. दैट इज रॉन्ग. करेंसी इज नॉट लिंक्ड टू अ नेशन. करेंसी इज बेसिकली लिंक्ड टू द अथॉरिटी. It is basically linked to the authority. Now you must be wondering what kind of authority. See, if the actual value of an asset is less than the face value, means you have a 100 rupee note and the printing cost of this 100 rupees is 2.36 rupees. Now the question is, how can you trust 2.36 rupees actual asset to be used at a value of 100 rupees? How can you trust? आप 100 रुपए के नोट को कैसे ट्रस्ट करोगे जब उसे छापने में सिर्फ कितना खर्चा हुआ? 2 रुपए 36 पैसे. तो इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर क्या है सर? इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर है कि एक्चुअल में ये जो नोट है ना, ये एक प्रॉमिसरी नोट है. प्रॉमिसरी नोट का मतलब क्या सर? इस पर क्या किया गया? प्रॉमिस की गई है. किसके द्वारा प्रॉमिस किया जाता है? आरबीआई द्वारा. इंडिया की बात करें तो कौन प्रॉमिस करता है? आरबीआई. आरबीआई कौन है सर? आरबीआई इज द सेंट्रल बैंक. और यहां पर लिखा जाता है हम धारक को 100 रुपए देने का वादा करते हैं. वी प्रॉमिस द बेयरर टू पे अ सम ऑफ 100 रुपीज. सो द मोमेंट दिस प्रॉमिस इज डन, then only public trust this instrument, and then only this instrument is accepted all around the country, and it becomes the nation's I would say legal tender, which we call it as currency. So it depends basically on authority, do not depends on country. The reason is जर्मनी की करेंसी क्या है? यूरो. जर्मनी के साथ साथ इटली की करेंसी क्या है? यूरो. और अगर मैं कहूं फ्रांस की करेंसी क्या है? यूरो. तो इन तीनों कंट्रीज की बात करें तो कंट्रीज अलग अलग हैं, लेकिन इन तीनों कंट्रीज की करेंसी सेम है, बिकॉज दे आर द पार्ट ऑफ यूरोजोन. They are the part of eurozone and they are using the same currency, that is euro, which means the promising authority is same. So whenever promising authority changes, the form of currency changes, and that is how we define currency for a particular economy. ठीक है जी, पढ़ लेते हैं. अगली बार अगर हमसे कोई पूछे what is exchange rate when one country's currency, अब आपको पता चल गया what is currency. Do currency depends only and only on country? That is not true. ये दो बातें आपको क्लियर होंगी. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. If you have any question, you may ask, please. If you have any question, you may ask, please. I'll answer. Let me cover the topic. I'll answer in meanwhile your question as well. So when one country's currency is converted into another country's currency, the rate at which one currency is exchanged for another is referred to as exchange rate, or it is termed as foreign exchange rate. In other words, it is a price at which domestic currency is exchanged for another currency, जैसा कि हमने डिस्कस किया. अब इसकी अगर मैं एक एग्जाम्पल के फॉर्म में डेफिनेशन देखूं तो एग्जाम्पल के फॉर्म में डेफिनेशन वही है जो मैंने ऑलरेडी आपको दी थी. वो क्या कि अगर $1 की मदद से आप 70 रुपए खरीद पा रहे हैं, इफ यू कैन परचेज 70 रुपीज अगेंस्ट $1, दैट मीन्स द एक्सचेंज रेट इज $1 is equals to 70 rupees. There are two components of the exchange rate. One is domestic currency, as we say, that is rupees, and the other one is foreign currency, which can be dollars, which can be yuan, which can be yen, which can be euro, which can be sterling pound, and many more. फॉरेन करेंसी कोई भी हो सकती है जिसके साथ आप अपनी करेंसी को क्या करना चाहते हैं? कंपेयर करना चाहते हैं. इज इट क्लियर? ओके. बिफोर वी मूव अहेड, एक क्वेश्चन है. Sir, question is regarding forex reserves in RBI. Is it in dollars? That's do they collect dollars and store, and why should they store, and why can't they store any other currency? ठीक है, मैं आपके क्वेश्चन का आंसर दे देता हूँ. Rick has asked a question related to forex reserve. See Rick, forex reserves जो हैं, they are maintained by RBI, and this is the power given to RBI under the RBI Act 1934. But RBI do not maintain the entire forex reserve in dollars. Forex reserve is maintained in the form of foreign currency. It is maintained in the form of foreign currency, as well as it is maintained in the form of foreign currency asset. Foreign currency asset means the government securities or bonds issued by the foreign nations. Then it is maintained in the form of gold, and along with the gold, one of the reserves which we include in this is SDR, special drawing rights, which we have or which a nation has on IMF. ठीक है जी. अब यहां पर Rick, you need to understand one point very carefully. Forex reserves, they are not in dollars. They are not in dollars. Rather, they are represented in dollars. अगर आपसे कोई पूछेगा that what is the total forex reserves of India, obviously they are represented in US dollars. That doesn't mean that it is maintained 100% in US dollars. First question. Second is, generally country tries to maintain its forex reserves, especially the currency and the foreign currency asset in dollars in order to avoid depreciation. The reason is, if you are maintaining your forex reserves in euro or maybe in sterling pound, and if dollar appreciates or the value of dollar increases with respect to these two currencies, then your forex reserves or your total reserves will depreciate over the period of time. So it's better to avoid this kind of appreciation or depreciation issues. You can maintain your currency majorly in dollars, but that doesn't mean that 100% currency is maintained in dollars only, or 100% forex reserves are maintained in US dollars. Is it clear, Rick? Your first question is clear. Second, is it oil imported from other countries that is used in order to make inter-country settlement to avoid our dependency on dollars? To avoid our dependency on dollars. ठीक है जी? I guess your second and third question are same. अच्छा नहीं. It is only oil to be traded in dollars or it is any other good too? See, when we talk about trade ना, आपने दो बार ये term use किया trade. You are talking about foreign currency. Trade का मतलब है the currency, or I would say international currency, the currency which is accepted all over the globe. So in world today, we have 5 currencies designated as international currencies. One is US dollar, second one is euro, then we have sterling pound, then we have Japanese yen, and then we have yuan of China or renminbi of China. So these are the 5 currencies which are considered as what? They are considered as international currency. But your question is कि सर हर बार जब भी कभी ट्रेड होगी तो क्या सिर्फ डॉलर्स में ट्रेड होगी? नहीं, बट मेजरली ट्रेड डॉलर में क्यों होती है? उसका रीजन क्या? सर डॉलर की जीडीपी वर्ल्ड में सबसे ज्यादा, अगर डॉलर की जीडीपी वर्ल्ड में अगर यूएस की जीडीपी वर्ल्ड में सबसे ज्यादा, तो इट मींस यूएस इज प्रोड्यूसिंग अ लॉट. इफ यूएस इज प्रोड्यूसिंग अ लॉट, दैट मींस यूएस हैज अ कैपेसिटी टू एक्सपोर्ट अ लॉट. और अगर यूएस के पास एक्सपोर्ट करने की कैपेसिटी है, तो जिस नेशन के पास यूएस डॉलर होगा, दे कैन यूज दैट करेंसी टू परचेज गुड्स and services from US. That is the reason the dependency on US dollar is not high. That is, the dependency on US exports is high, because of which it results in our increase in dependency on US dollars. That is the reason we majorly talk about US dollar in our day-to-day transactions. Last, so can you take a class about gold standard and Bretton Woods? I can do that, but in the near future to go. I can do that, but in the near future to go. Is it fine, guys? Is it fine? Is it clear? But before I move ahead, now I have a doubt which I would like to resolve. That is foreign currency. How many of you don't know what is foreign currency? And could I have a reply in the comment section that whatever we have discussed is crystal clear to you? In the comment section that whatever we have discussed is crystal clear to you. Please reply in the comment section. मजा आया? ठीक है. एक क्वेश्चन है जिसको मैं अपने लेवल पे चाहूंगा आंसर करना, जो अभी कहीं ना कहीं रिक ने पूछा, लेकिन मुझे लगा कि काफी लोगों को इस क्वेश्चन के बारे में नहीं पता होगा. दैट इज नोन एज इंटरनेशनल करेंसी. दैट इज नोन एज इंटरनेशनल करेंसी. अब इंटरनेशनल करेंसी किस करेंसी को कहा जाता है? सर इंटरनेशनल करेंसी इज द टर्म गिवन टू द currency which is accepted by greater than 30 countries, all over the globe. अगर किसी करेंसी को 30 से ज्यादा देश एक्सेप्ट करते हैं, अगर किसी करेंसी को 30 से ज्यादा देश, 30 से ज्यादा countries में accept किया जाता है, then we call that particular currency, as what? So we call that particular currency as foreign currency. ठीक है जी, और international currency. This designation is given by IMF. And currently we have US dollars, then we have yuan or renminbi, then we have yen, then we have euro, and we have sterling pound. These are the currencies which are termed as international currencies. You know what? ये करेंसीज को इंटरनेशनल करेंसी क्यों कहा जाता है? बिकॉज मोर देन 30 कंट्रीज आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन देम. एंड व्हाई मोर देन 30 कंट्रीज आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन देम? बिकॉज ऑफ देयर एक्सपोर्टिंग पावर. And why they have huge exporting power? Because of their GDP. Country on the first rank in terms of GDP is US. On second rank we have China. On third rank we have Japan. On fourth rank we have Germany. And on sixth rank, fifth is India, but on sixth rank we have UK. Now the question is, if the country possesses huge value of GDP, if the country's GDP is high, that means country's production is high. And if country's production is high, along with that, if country's export capacity is high, then that country's currency will be demanded or will be accepted all over the globe, which means the country with huge exporting power possess huge dependency of the world on itself, and because of the huge dependency on itself, its currency is treated as international currency. Now you can see Indian GDP is on the 5th rank, but unfortunately our currency is not an international currency. The reason is we are not a huge exporter. Rather, because of our huge population, we are huge importer in comparison to the export volume. Is it clear now? Is it clear, everyone? I hope your basic doubt related to this part is crystal clear. If it is clear, just give me yes, sir. If you have enjoyed till now, do like the session if you haven't liked the session yet, and then I will be moving ahead. I want everyone to reply yes, sir in the comment section, those who are live. Chalo. Now let's move to the next point. The next point is, so where do currency exchange? Where we basically exchange the currency. So currency exchange is done in the forex market. We call that market as forex market, which is foreign exchange market in India. In India, the foreign exchange market is regulated by RBI, and RBI is regulating foreign exchange market under Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. Even the companies, the organizations, or the currency exchanges, they are also registered under RBI. We call them as authorized. Category 1, authorized category 2 dealer, authorized category 3 dealer, and then we have full-fledged exchanger. Then we have full-fledged currency exchanger. So these are the 4 different dealers which are responsible to exchange your currency. That means you can exchange rupees against dollars. So all this is basically done by whom? So all this is basically done by these authorities, and these authorities are provided with the license by RBI, or RBI is the regulator of this particular segment. So it's a place where currencies get exchanged. The exchange market is also known as forex market or FX market or currency market. The primary objective of the foreign currency market is to establish this connection for global markets. This is very important. Why we are establishing these kind of markets? Because if we are establishing these kind of markets, then only Indian importers, they get access to dollars so that they can purchase from outside country, or Indian exporters, they can exchange dollars against rupees which they have received against selling goods and services outside the country. Now just think, अगर इंपोर्टर को डॉलर ना मिले और एक्सपोर्टर को डॉलर के बदले में रुपीज ना मिले, डू यू थिंक दैट दे विल बी इन्वॉल्विंग इन द ग्लोबल ट्रेड? नो सर. सो इन ऑर्डर टू एनहांस ग्लोबल ट्रेड, इन ऑर्डर टू इनवाइट फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट, इन ऑर्डर टू invite foreign tourism, or in order to invite n number of economic and non-economic activities with the other countries, we need foreign currency, and in order to engage population in these kind of activities, we use a market that is known as forex market. So foreign exchange market comprises banks, forex dealers, commercial businesses, central bank, investment management companies, hedge fund companies, and many more, which we will be discussing in the upcoming days to go. As I mentioned, regulator of foreign exchange market is RBI, and RBI is regulating foreign exchange market under Foreign Exchange Management Act. Under Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. Now, because the currencies, Rick, I will be taking your doubts in the end, beta. Okay, I will be taking your doubts in the end. So, because currencies are usually exchanged in pairs, the value of one currency in that pair is related to the value of another pair. This is very important. Currency exchange is always done in pairs. That means $1 is equals to 84 rupees. So, this is a pair. What is this? This is basically a pair. So, because currencies are usually exchanged in pairs, the value of one currency in that pair is related to the value of the other. This regulates maximum amount of currency from nation A that country B may purchase and vice versa. So basically, with the help of this grouping, with the help of this, I would say, value which is identified for a pair, it basically regulates the maximum amount of currency which can be purchased or which can be sold out. Rick, I'm answering one of your question. Now the question is, what are the factors which affect exchange rate? I will be discussing with you what are the methods through which we calculate the exchange rate, but what are the methods which affect exchange rate? The answer is first and the most important factor is inflation. First and the most important factor is inflation. Now the question is, so what do you understand by the word inflation? By the word inflation over here, or how you want to justify your point over here. Before I discuss these points, guys, before I discuss the factors, before I discuss these factors which affect the foreign exchange rate, why not we understand how the exchange rate is decided? Obviously, I'm not giving you in much detail. I'll give you an overview, and detail will be discussed over the period of time in this session only. But if you ask me, what are the methods used to calculate the exchange rate of currency, then the first method is known as fixed exchange rate method. First method is known as fixed exchange rate method. Now the question is, so what do you understand by the word fixed exchange rate method? In very simple terms, sir, fixed exchange rate method basically means the method in which fixed exchange rate method basically means the method in which exchange rate is decided by government. It is decided by government or by authority, or maybe by the central bank, and this exchange rate remains constant, until reviewed by authority, government, or central bank. I'll give you an example to understand this point in a much better manner. You know what? When India got independence in 1947, before 1947, we know that India was ruled by British Crown and their currency had a great influence on the Indian economy. But once India got independence, India decided that, okay, now 1 rupee will be equal to $1. But someone asked that how you have decided this exchange rate? Then the reply was, so this exchange rate is decided on the basis of gold method. So what do you understand by the word gold method? It basically means in India, 1 kg of gold is equals to, or it is available of 100 rupees. And in US, same 1 kg of gold is available for $100. So 1 kg of gold is common, which means 100 rupees is equals to $100. From here, I can conclude that $1 is equals to 1 rupee. I'm not lying and I'm not joking. This is the actual rate of exchange when India got independence in 1947 or after 1947, the exchange rate was decided as what? That is 1 rupee was equals to $1. Now, why I'm saying that this is basically decided by authority? Because nowadays, gold prices gold prices are decided on the global market scenario. If the gold price increase in global market, the same impact is witnessed in case of India as well. But earlier, gold prices were regulated. Regulated means they were decided by government. Regulated means decided by government. So if government is deciding, please pay attention, if government is deciding the price of gold, which means indirectly government is deciding the exchange rate, say yes or no. Say yes or no. So whenever government changes the gold prices on the basis of change in gold prices in the country and its comparison to its price in US, exchange rate is decided. So this exchange rate is known as fixed exchange rate method, where the exchange rate is decided on the basis of gold reserves or on the basis of gold price, which are regulated by the government. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? Now, this was the scenario. I'll take an example. Please pay attention. In 1947, when India got independence, at that particular time, Indian government, or I would say the Indian authorities, they were trying their level best to grow, to expand, to achieve high growth rates. So in order to achieve those targets, they started, or they want to import machinery from the other nations. And in order to import machinery from the other nation and to run the machinery, they were not only requiring the capital, along with capital, they were requiring the fuel or energy as well. So when India started importing capital goods, that means machinery and all, energy, that means crude oil and all, India's import bills were starting piling up. So what did Indian authorities do? So they paid the amount in Indian rupees. That means they sent Indian rupees to UAE against their crude oil. They sent Indian rupees to US against the machinery which we have imported from US. They rejected. They said, sorry sir, we cannot accept Indian rupees. Now, the moment they say we cannot accept Indian rupees, we ask, what is the reason why you don't want to accept Indian rupees? The reply was, sir, Indian rupees is not acceptable because Indian economy is not a huge economy and India is not producing much. If India is not producing much, India's GDP is not high, India's exports are not high. If there are low exports, that means there is low dependency. If we are not depending on India, then you only tell what we will do with the Indian rupees. If we were dependent on India to purchase, let's say, goods, to purchase, let's say, agriculture goods, then we can easily use Indian rupees. But unfortunately, India is not in that position. That world is depending on India, and that is the reason we will not accept Indian rupees. India said, okay, fine. India said, okay, fine. Now, what could be the next solution? So in order to find out a solution, Indian representative, let's say Jawaharlal Nehru ji, he made a call to UAE and he said, कि सर आपने हमसे इंडियन रुपीस तो लिए नहीं, you have not accepted our Indian rupees. Now tell me, in which currency should I pay? He replied, sir, if you'll pay us in our own currency, that is dirham, that is fine. Otherwise, you can pay us in US dollars because US is one of the leading economy. We will be taking US dollars from you and we will be purchasing goods from US. Now, Jawaharlal Nehru was in problem that from where we can get US dollars, we cannot print them. So Jawaharlal Nehru borrowed funds from development organizations, from international organizations, and even borrowed the funds from some of the central banks. So once the borrowing was done, US dollar were received. In dollars की मदद से पे कर दिया, क्रूड ऑयल भी आ गया, मशीनरी भी आ गई. क्रूड ऑयल यूज किया, खत्म हो गया, फिर क्रूड ऑयल की जरूरत पड़ी, और जब फिर से जरूरत पड़ी, अब जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी, he was in a dilemma that no one is going to give me loan every time. I have to seek an solution to this. So Jawaharlal Nehru came up with the solution that why not we start exporting the goods. If we are importing goods and we are paying dollars, when we will be exporting the goods, we will be receiving dollars. Everyone was very happy that yes, Jawaharlal Nehru ji is the perfect leader of the country. So the moment they decided to export, then the question was what and where to export. So Jawaharlal Nehru gave an idea. Don't worry, we can export, but to whom? We can export our goods to the African nations, because African countries, they have huge minerals, but they lack basic agriculture goods. If they lack in basic agriculture goods, then that could be a best solution. So Jawaharlal Nehru ji made a call to the African nations and asked them, are you looking for wheat? They said yes. Are you looking for rice? They said yes. Jawaharlal Nehru said, I am in your service. I will be giving you rice. I will be giving you wheat. African nations asked next question, what is going to be the price? Jawaharlal Nehru replied, wheat is going to be 10 rupees. Sorry, wheat is going to be 10 rupees for 100 kg. I'm talking about 1947. And rice is going to be 30 rupees per 100 kg. The moment this price list was given by Jawaharlal Nehru, the African leader, he hung up the call. He disconnected the call. Jawaharlal Nehru ji was in a dilemma ki koi baat nahi, galti se phone kata hoga. He made a call again. He rang, the call is ringing, and African leader takes the phone and say, हाँ जी नेहरू जी बताइए कि सर सॉरी शायद लाइन में कुछ खराबी थी, the phone was disconnected. African leader said, no, I have myself disconnected the phone. Why you have disconnected the phone? The reply was, you are giving us price in rupees. We don't have rupees. We can pay you in dollars. So we want that you should give us the prices in dollars. And the moment Jawaharlal Nehru realized that yes, we need to, if we want to sell our goods outside the country, then the price of our goods should be presented in the currency which is used outside the nation. That time it is US dollars. So in order to achieve this target, we must have exchange rate, and in order to achieve the exchange rate, we must use a method. So they followed a method, that is fixed exchange rate, and the currency exchange rate was decided, which was $1 is equals to 1 rupee. Is it clear? So Jawaharlal Nehru again, after a few days, made a call to these African leaders and said, sir, wheat is of $10 for 100 kg and rice is of $30 for 100 kg. I hope you are getting me. 1 rupee is equals to $1, so 10 rupees is equals to $10, 30 rupees is equals to $30. The moment African leaders, they heard the price, they again disconnected the call. Jawaharlal Nehru ji was very upset. He said, why you have disconnected my call again? The reply was, sir, aapke goods bahut महंगे hain. You are selling it at way high price. US is selling it for $5 per 100 kg for wheat, and US is selling $15 per 100 kg rice. Then why we should purchase from you? Go away. Now Jawaharlal Nehru ji realized that we have done a mistake. What mistake we have done? We have equated our currency equal to the world's most demanded currency, that is US dollar, and in order to achieve huge exports, our goods should be cheaper in the market. Our goods should be cheaper in the market. One solution is you can decrease the price in India from 10 rupees to 5 rupees, and simultaneously the price in the international market will decrease, but that will hamper your domestic market. So in order to avoid this situation, what was done, sir, in order to avoid this situation, devaluation was done. Devaluation of currency was done. So devaluation of currency was done for the very first time in 1949. In 1949, the government changed the rate from 1 rupee is equals to $1. This rate was revised and it was changed to, I'm just taking an example, 10 rupees is equals to $1. So government itself, please pay attention, government itself, government or authority or central bank, whichever is responsible, itself decrease the price of domestic currency with respect to international currency, so that price of Indian goods decreases in international market and exports should increase. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? Say yes or no. Are you getting my point? Say yes or no. Earlier, a product which was of 100 rupees in India, let's say this is a product X. In international market, it was available for $100. But now, the moment exchange rate is decided where 1 rupee was equals to $1 and now 10 rupees is equals to $1, then the same product which is in India for 100 rupees, which is still in India is of 100 rupees, but it will be available in the international market for $10. But it will be available in the international market for $10. So the price of the product fell down. And we know that whenever the price decreases, demand increases. Demand increases means India's exports will increase. So Indian currency has been devaluated, one in 1949, then it was devaluated in 1966, then Indian currency was devaluated 2 times in 1991. So next time if someone asks you why the currency devaluation is done, so currency devaluation is a method in which authorities they decrease the value of their own currency, with respect to the international currency, in order to decrease the price of Indian goods in the international market so that exports can increase and India's dependency on dollar can decrease. Is it clear? So till now 4 times devaluation has been done: 1949, 1966, 1991. Things were going pretty fine. But you know that in 1991, India witnessed crisis. We know that India witnessed financial crisis where India was left with only 10 to 15 days of reserves to service its import bills. When India was left with only 10 to 15 days of reserves to service its import bills, then India finally decided to come up with LPG scheme, that is liberalization, privatization, globalization, which basically means India opened up its economy. India opened up its economy in terms of imports, in terms of exports, in terms of foreign investment and many more. But there was a problem. When India came up with LPG scheme in 1991, at that particular moment, India reached to IMF and asked IMF, sir, we need a help of $7 billion so that we can survive the current financial crisis. IMF said, there's no issue, I can give you $7 billion, and they have lended us $7 billion, but there was a point. The point is, IMF said, we are not happy with your exchange rate. Why we are not happy with your exchange rate? Because your exchange rate is a fixed exchange rate method. Fixed exchange rate method basically means the method in which you increase the value, or you can increase the value of your currency, or you can decrease the value of your currency. If you're decreasing the value of your currency, that is known as devaluation, which results in increase in exports. And if you increase the value, that means 1 rupee is equals to $1, and now you say 1 rupee is equals to $2, which means you have increased the value of your currency. And if you have increased the value of your currency, you can easily increase the import. But if you're doing this, then you are playing with the original. You're playing with the actual laws of economy, that is, price is decided or demand depends upon price. So in order to reinstate the law of demand, law of supply in case of currency exchange rate, IMF requested India that you should change your exchange rate method, and India started following the method that is known as floating exchange rate. Now, what is this floating exchange rate? So floating exchange rate basically means the exchange rate in which currency exchange rate depends upon 2 factors. One is demand and the other one is supply. Whenever the demand and supply of 2 currencies changes, or I would say whenever the demand and supply of a particular foreign currency changes in the domestic currency, on the basis of that demand and supply, exchange rate is decided. Now, let's say in India, whenever in India, demand for foreign currency, that means demand for dollars increases, or I would say if you are in a dilemma that rupees are compared to dollars, where we are talking about demand of dollars, demand of rupees, demand of dollars, demand of rupees, or supply of dollars or supply of rupees. No, that is not the case. The economists, they were very, very intelligent. They said the countries like India, which has a huge dependency on US dollar, in that case, currency exchange rate will be decided on the basis of dependency only, which means whenever demand on dollar increases with respect to the available supply of dollars in the country, then the exchange rate will increase. Exchange rate increases means the gap increases. Exchange rate increases means the gap increases. For example, 70 rupees is equals to $1. If demand on dollar increases with respect to its supply, then price of dollar will increase. Consider dollar as a commodity. Consider dollar as a commodity. So if dollar is a commodity, then the price will increase to 80. If price has increased to 80, which means if demand is greater than supply, we know this very well, price will increase. Price increase means exchange rate increases. Exchange rate increases means gap increases. Earlier the gap was 70 rupees and $1. Now the gap is 80 rupees and $1, which means you need 10 rupees more to purchase the same dollar. This is known as depreciation of currency. This is known as depreciation of currency. Remember that. Depreciation and devaluation is same. In both the cases, gap between the exchange rate increases and Indian goods become cheaper. But what is the difference? Devaluation, it is intentionally done by the authority. Depreciation is done due to the market parameters. It is done due to the market factors. It is done due to the market factors. Now, on the other side, if demand is less than supply, then price will decrease, which means exchange rate will decrease, gap will decrease, and the same currency or $1 will be available at 65 rupees. Which means currency appreciated. So this is known as appreciation of currency. Remember that appreciation and depreciation of currency is done on the basis of market factors, but valuation and devaluation of currency is done. Valuation and devaluation of currency is done on the basis of what? It is done on the basis of the government requirement. It is done on the basis of the government requirement. Is it clear till this point? Is it clear till this point? If you have any doubt in this method, you may ask, please. If you have any doubt in this method, you may ask, please, quickly. Quickly reply, guys. If it is clear, just give me yes, sir. Do reply in the comment section if it is clear. Is it clear, everyone? Do reply. Don't sit like this. I should get to know that yes, you are listening to me, you are enjoying. May I have an answer, please? Okay. Now let's move on to the next term. Now the next term is what are the factors which affect the exchange rate? Now you will be in a position to understand these factors in much better format. Inflation. See, whenever there is inflation, inflation means the product, let's say today, 70 rupees is equals to $1. Okay? And in India, this is the current situation. This is day one. On day 2, let's assume, in the starting or in the morning, 70 rupees was equals to $1 only, but there is an inflation. Inflation means the product X. Inflation means the product X, which was earlier available in the market at a price of 140, is now available in the market at a price of 210. So this is the product which was earlier exported. If it was earlier exported and if I convert it into the foreign currency rate, then it means 140 rupees is the Indian price and $1 is equals to 70 rupees, which means it is exported at $2. But due to inflation, if the price increases, but the exchange rate is same, price of the goods increases, but the exchange rate is same. Price of the goods increases, but the exchange rate is same. In that particular situation, what will happen? Sir, in that particular situation, if there is inflation in the market, due to inflation, price of Indian goods will increase. If the price of Indian goods increases in the international market from $2 to $3, which means price increases, therefore demand will decrease. If demand is decreasing, export will decrease. And if export is decreasing, it's quite obvious supply of US dollars to India decreases. And if supply of US dollars to India decreases, this means in this case, demand will be greater than supply and our currency will depreciate. And now you know that currency may come down from 70 rupees to 80 rupees. It may come down from 70 rupees to 80 rupees. Is it clear now? Is it clear, everyone? So an increase in inflation rate can rise the demand for foreign currency, which can have a negative influence on the domestic currency exchange rate. For example, an increase in price of oil might boost the demand for foreign money, causing the domestic currency to what? So causing the domestic currency to depreciate. Next, interest rate. So what is the point of interest rate? Interest rate on government securities and bonds, corporate securities, also influence the outflow and inflow of the money. If the interest rate on government bonds are greater than in any other country, for example, we know that Trump has again come in power, and whenever Trump is in power, it is witnessed that the Federal Reserves, that means the securities issued by Federal Reserves, their interest rate increases. So if their interest rate increases, then it's quite obvious everyone will try to enjoy huge interest rates. And in order to enjoy these huge interest rates, what they will do, the investors who have already invested in India, they will disinvest. They will disinvest from India and they will be investing their amount in US. This investment means there is outflow of foreign currency. And if foreign currency is flowing out, which means supply is decreasing, and whenever supply decreases with respect to demand, it's quite obvious that prices will increase. Prices will increase means gap will increase. Gap increases means currency will depreciate. It means currency will depreciate. So if interest rate on government bonds are greater than in other countries' forex market, it can encourage the foreign currency inflow, whereas the lower interest rate can cause foreign currency outflow. So this will have an impact on the currency exchange rate. So lower interest rate tend to cause exchange rates to fall. So if your country is offering lower exchange rate, then no foreign currency will be coming in your country in order to invest their funds to earn interest rates, which will result in low supply. Low supply means gap increases. But if your country is offering high interest rate, then obviously there will be increase in foreign investment. Foreign investment increases, there will be increase in inflow of foreign currency. And if the foreign currency inflow increases, undoubtedly it will result in what? Sir, undoubtedly it will result in a situation where demand, or I would say in comparison to demand, supply is increasing and exchange rate will decrease, which means our currencies start appreciating. Next point is government intervention. So during the period of extreme volatility in exchange rate, the central government can intervene. And central government can intervene how? For example, अगर इंडिया में आज 90 रुपीस का $1 और आरबीआई को पता है कि ये बहुत ज्यादा है, what RBI can do? RBI will sell out its forex reserves. आरबीआई के पास फॉरेक्स रिजर्व्स है ना, आरबीआई वहां से कुछ डॉलर सेल करेगा इंडिया की मार्केट में, और जो डॉलर्स आरबीआई सेल कर रहा है इंडिया की मार्केट में, इससे होगा क्या? मार्केट में डॉलर की सप्लाई बढ़ेगी, मार्केट में अगर डॉलर की सप्लाई बढ़ेगी तो एक्सचेंज रेट क्या होगा? कम होगा, और इंडियन करेंसी जो डेप्रिशिएट हो रही थी इट विल स्टार्ट एप्रिशिएटिंग एंड 90 रुपीज कैन कम डाउन टू 80 रुपीज पर डॉलर. लास्ट इज करंट अकाउंट. करंट अकाउंट बेसिकली टॉक्स अबाउट इंपोर्ट एंड एक्सपोर्ट. ये बात हम ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं. इफ exports of the country increases or they are very high, that means supply of foreign currency is very high, that means your currency will appreciate. And if imports are very high, which means demand on foreign currency is very high, which will result in depreciation of the currency. So if India is importing a lot, our currency will depreciate. If India start exporting a lot, then our currency will appreciate for sure. So these are some of the terms: floating exchange rate, which we have just discussed, fixed exchange rate, which we have just discussed. So I'm pretty sure all the terms which we have discussed are crystal clear. I'll give you homework. What you need to do is you need to go through with the topic that is known as evolution of exchange rate management in India. This is an interesting topic. Just read it. I have given you the overview, but you just read it. You will enjoy it for sure. And I will be sharing the same on my Telegram channel. If you want to clear your upcoming RBI Grade B 2025 exam, do use the code MADHAV and enroll yourself in Lakshya batch in order to enjoy maximum discount and clear your examination the very first attempt. You can download the PDF from this particular Telegram channel. I'm pretty sure you must have enjoyed the discussion. We'll catch you in the upcoming sessions to go. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Good luck. God bless you all. Bye bye. Acha, we have few questions to answer. Just give me a second. Sir, how inflation impact while raising tax on imports? Example, use USA expecting a rise tax on imports like 10% and 60% on China. How does it impact India and US currency? सिंपल है ना यार, अगर यूएस टैक्स बढ़ा देगा अपनी इंपोर्ट्स पर तो यूएस पब्लिक के लिए वो इंपोर्टेड गुड्स महंगे हो जाएंगे. इफ द इंपोर्टेड गुड्स दे आर कॉस्टलियर, देयर डिमांड विल डिक्रीज. इफ देयर डिमांड डिक्रीजेस, यूएस को तो फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, लेकिन इंडिया जैसी कंट्री का एक्सपोर्ट कम होगा. एक्सपोर्ट कम होगा तो इंडिया में इनफ्लो ऑफ डॉलर्स कम होंगे. इनफ्लो ऑफ डॉलर्स कम होंगे तो आवर करेंसी विल डेप्रिशिएट. दैट इज अ पॉइंट. फाइन. सो व्हाट इज एसएलआर एंड सीआरआर रेशियो? इसका यहाँ पे कोई लेना देना नहीं है. CRR SLR का I won't be discussing over here. We will be discussing about them in the upcoming sessions to go. I hope Rick बाकी सारे questions आपके clear होंगे, समझ आए होंगे, मजा आया होगा. I'll catch you in the next session. Good luck. God bless you all. Bye bye.